Okay, ladies and gents, we are straight in, and I believe this is round 2. I actually drew out round 1 with Virtual World, completely my own fault. But anyway, during this round, I believe I won the die roll. I opted to go first, obviously, and I think that I set up my usual board, well, the usual board of Mirror Jade plus a branded in red set with the opportunity to go into Guardian Chimera on your opponent's turn. So I set up the usual board. I think he tried to go for a few Eldlich plays. I think he went to go to the battle phase and actually banished his Eldlich to Golden Lord with Mirror Jade, because I actually drew the Aluba, and I think I searched the branded and red off the Aluba. So I didn't actually have to trigger Mirror Jade's effect on my starting turn, so I was already set up, to be honest. And then I had I think it was branded in Lost on the field, which was putting so much work, ladies and gents. He was trying to activate cards in response to negate the activation, and he just couldn't. It was crazy. So I managed to win that game, mainly because he flipped Skill Drain on me, and I actually got to resolve Super Polymerization in the battle phase, and I just had big monsters basically and beat over his Eldlich. I beat over a Conquistador, I believe, and then super polyed in a battle phase for a Starving Venom to be able to then clear the rest of the damage, which was interesting. Game 2, I think I just set up, I believe I just out-resourced him. It was just simple as that. He couldn't get enough of an engine going. He just had cards to kind of like slow me down. He did flip Skill Drain on me again after a normal summon and Aluba, but nonetheless, ladies and gents, it just wasn't enough, and I managed to just clinch that one out and win 2-0, going second against a trap deck. I did have Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon in the extra deck for that said matchup. I was hoping to get it on field early, but obviously you just don't know what you're playing against, and then going second, if they've already got traps established and you get him on the board, it's a bit of an awkward one. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, I managed to win this round, so I moved on. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know who it is by now, Jimothy. So ladies and gents, it has been a while, probably about over a week now since I've actually had a chance to upload anything, but nevertheless, we are here. Just a little bit of a backstory. I've actually got a new position at work. I got a new job, so it's been super busy at work, like loads of paperwork, loads of late hours. So I haven't had a chance to really like do anything in the week as per se, mainly because I've just been working to like the early hours of the morning. But nonetheless, we've made it to locals today, and we managed to make ourselves get ourselves to a box tournament. Now I have actually got, if you can see it, let's go. So shout out to Yugi Tom, actually sorted out these t-shirts for me, absolutely fantastic. So anytime I go to an event now, I owe it to him to wear them, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But we are here playing branded Despia. So far I'm X01, so I've drawn one and I've won one. I'm still getting to grips with the deck. I'm still making a few misplays. The game that I drew, I could have actually won. I had talents. He activated, I think it was Crystal Wing, and I decided to take his Crystal Wing instead of drawing 2 cards, which was absolutely stupid. He had no cards in hand as well, and I decided to just not do that. So it was a bit of a misplay on my part, which ended up me drawing the game. But what I will say is Masquerade, oh my days, that card puts on so much pressure, especially going like first, especially if you go into it using your branded in red, which is something that I didn't actually think to do, but I realized that obviously Virtual World do a lot of summoning and a lot of activation of effects, so it's kind of like an FTK against Virtual World because they need all those effects to go through to be able to set up their board. So I played 2 games so far, one against Virtual World, one against Eldlich, and hopefully we can continue this streak. It is a little bit difficult. There's loads of Despia here, ladies and gents, absolutely loads. So mirror matches will definitely be a thing. So if I do come into any Despia mirror matches, Super Poly is getting sided into 3. I've already got 2 in the main deck anyway. I made a few changes to the list, and I'll obviously go over those changes when I do an updated deck profile. But yeah, ladies and gents, nonetheless, I will catch you on the next one. Peace. Okay, ladies and gents, we actually didn't get a chance to record round 3, mainly because my device was charging, so I couldn't actually record it. I actually got absolutely smoked by Sword Soul. It was my own fault, to be honest. I just decided to go second after losing game 1, and then I made a big misplay in round 3 against the Sword Soul. I decided to Veiler one of his cards. I only had Veiler and Tragedy as monsters in my hand. The rest were spells, and I actually couldn't play the game because I Veilered it. I didn't draw into another monster. I did have a Poly in my hand, so I would have been able to play, but unfortunately I didn't get an opportunity to do so, which meant that I lost that game, which it is what it is. A lot of mistakes made through testing. But here in round 4 playing against Orcust. Now, so in game 1, I actually set up just a Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon, and I just puts a lot of pressure on field. He did actually imperm it, but he didn't realize that the Masquerade doesn't activate. And another little ruling that I learnt, ladies and gents, is Masquerade can actually function under Mystic Mine, so that's something to bear in mind, mainly because it's a condition and it doesn't activate, so something to bear in mind. So he did actually imperm it, and he thought he could talent because it triggered, but it didn't actually do that, so he didn't have much extension in hand, so he proceeded to pass turn. I did have Eluba on the follow-up. I did decide to normal summon Eluba. He veiled my Eluba, I believe, and then I think I talented him. I think I drew 2, and that was all she wrote. He literally just did not have the hand. I think he bricked pretty hard, to be honest. I think he had a couple of hand traps which were null and void. And in game 2, he actually made a little bit of a miscalculation. Like, I believe he went first, he set up his board. I tried to play for a number of interruptions. I think it was like DPE. It was a whole host of things, basically. He did manage to go into an access code talker and do a whole bunch of damage, but he did not calculate correctly, and he left me with 100 life points, I believe, and that was enough for me to come back and secure the game. Obviously summoned Predaplant Verte Anaconda, which meant that he burnt for 2k to get his DPE out, and I actually managed to just take that game. He could have potentially carried on because I only did 5,000 damage and he only did 1,000 damage more, but I was too far ahead in card advantage. He'd already drawn off his Celestial draw, so he was in a little bit of a pickle, and he just proceeded to scoop, ladies and gents. So all in all, a decent showing, might I add. Despia definitely an interesting deck, and it has a lot of grind game, especially with Tragedy and Branded Fusion in Graveyard. You've always got to play, ladies and gents. So yeah, on to the next one. Okay, end of round 4, ladies and gents, and it's fair to say I'm not gonna top. However, I haven't done too well. I haven't done too badly. It's we've got one more round. There's 5 rounds. I'm actually X1-1, so I've won 2, drawn 1, and I've lost 1. So it's not a bad showing, to be honest. Especially as I haven't practiced the deck as much as I would like. Like I said, I've been busy this week, so I haven't really done much testing. I literally did like a few test hands yesterday, and just a little bit of discussion, and I watched a few YouTube videos. So all in all, ladies and gents, it's not looking too bad. Hopefully I can keep up the pace. This deck is very interesting. It has a lot of plays, especially hidden plays, a lot of things that kind of hide in the graveyard and just kind of like react, basically, and it goes to show that the deck is very much a tier 1 deck, in my opinion. I'm not too sure how strong it is, but it's definitely going to be up there, especially with the resource management and the type of way, well, the way that it interacts with your opponent. So very, very interesting. But nonetheless, ladies and gents, I will catch you on that next one. Peace. Okay, ladies and gents, we are back with the penultimate round, and I was actually playing another Orcust matchup, which is crazy. So going first, he actually just managed to set 4 and then pass. I don't think his hand was the best. I don't think he's seen any monsters whatsoever. So I proceeded to do my stuff. I didn't overextend. I put 2 monsters on field and then went straight into the battle phase. I attempted to do some damage, which I did, and then I tried to super poly in the battle phase to get the last bit of damage, and he actually torrential tributed on my summon. So then I managed to try and summon Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon, back from the graveyard because it's a quick effect, and he managed to torrential tribute me again, and then I branded in red, still in battle phase, might I add, to get out Quertus, and then Quertus got torrential tributed, and then on top of that, because Quertus was destroyed, I tried to float with Quertus into another monster, and he actually had the Solemn Strike for that, which was absolutely crazy. So managed to play through 4 trap cards. Main phase 2, managed to normal summon Eluba, get my Branded Fusion to Albion, and then Albion to use its effect to fuse into Dragoon, which was just all she wrote. And then he actually crashed his Celestial, which he drew for turn, which was crazy. Going into game 2, again, I don't think he drew the best hand. and he set a couple of cards and then passed turn, and I actually went with my Fright Threat Patchwork, which got ashed, and then I had Triple Tactics Talent to just draw 2, and then after that he just scooped. He was like, I can't believe this, I'm not doing this no more. So he actually scooped there. So interesting matchup to say the least, ladies and gents. Again, just a lot of gas in this deck if you draw the right hands. You can get crippled by a single Ash Blossom, but nevertheless, ladies and gents, I managed to do that and rounding out the tournament with a record of 3-1-1. So not too shabby considering I did not have the most amount of practice with this deck. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, tournament is over, done, dusted, finished with, and I actually finished with a record of X11, which was pretty good. So we played 5 rounds, and I managed to finish in 6th place, which was really interesting, mainly because I did not do a lot in the way of testing. Obviously, I haven't been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh this week, so to be able to do that while in a tournament with some pretty decent players was quite an achievement, might I add. Now, if you're going into matchups real quick, I played against Virtual World, which I drew. Then I played it against I think it was Eldlich, which I managed to beat. Then I lost against Sword Soul, and then I beat Orcust, and I can't remember my other matchup. I'll definitely put it on the screen for you guys. But nevertheless, ladies and gents, a few misplays. I think to start with, I was kind of testing and then I was kind of playing at the same time. So my loss against Sword Soul, which was against one of my buddies, I actually opted to go second after I'd lost the first game, which was a little bit silly, to be honest. But I just wanted to see whether or not the deck could go second, and it can potentially go second very well. I actually misplayed, so I had Tragedy and a Veiler in hand and a bunch of spells, and I decided to use the Veiler to be able to try and negate one of his effects, and he easily played through that. And then when I drew for turn, I didn't actually draw another monster, which meant I couldn't actually do anything with the Despia and Tragedy, which was a bit of a misplay, because obviously if I held onto the Veiler, I would have been able to do something. I would have been able to get Tragedy engraved, which would have allowed me to search for Aluba, and I could have continued my plays from there. But you live and you learn. First game, I just got outpaced. He actually bounced one of my monsters with his Vishuda, which was a little bit of a problem. I was thinking about chaining Branded in red in the first game, but I just didn't have the materials for it, because I think he hand trapped me a couple of times, so I was struggling a little bit. And the other game that I drew, I should have won it actually. I was playing against Virtual World. The first game, I literally just burnt him to death with Masquerade, and then the second game, I whittled him down to just having a Crystal Wing on the field and actually activated talents. And there was so much of a misplay, because I decided to take the Crystal Wing instead of drawing 2, which I should have basically, and I could have drew into any number of extenders, but I decided to take it. I realized what I had in my hand, couldn't do anything with it, so I lost. But all in all, ladies and gents, it was a decent matchup. I actually played through, I think when I played Orcust, I played through like 4 trap cards, which was just absolutely crazy. It was ridiculous. But the deck is powerful, ladies and gents, and there was 4 people playing Despia here at the locals, so it's very, very popular, and I can see it being quite a little bit of a mainstay over the coming meta over the next couple of weeks or even months potentially. So definitely a strong deck, but nevertheless, there's still a few things that I need to work out in the deck. I haven't really got the hand trap ratio quite correct, and there's a few hand traps that I potentially might put in and take out. Veil is decent, but it's not high impact enough. That could have potentially been a Nibiru. And also Ash Blossom, obviously, for the mirror match. I already got Ghost Bell in there, so yeah. But anyway, ladies and gents, that is enough of me. Hopefully I can take this deck to another tournament and do as well as I did with it today, but we'll see. But as always, we find ourselves at the end of another video. If you did like this content, you know what to do by now. Hit that like button, share, subscribe, all of that beautiful good stuff, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed. Peace.